Hello my friends, I hope you're having a good weekend. Man, today I'm cooking the best ribeye that I've ever cooked in my life, or trying to at least. So in the mail today, I got some grill grates from the Grill Grates company. Man, I've been waiting for them for a couple days. I'm so excited. And as soon as I saw that box on the front porch, man, I was off to the store to find me some amazing ribeyes. And man, these are pretty good. They probably could be a little bit better, but man, I'm happy with them for sure. So all we're doing here is we're trimming these things up. We want them to look perfect. We're trying to make the perfect ribeye. So we trimmed off that sort of triangle portion down there at the bottom of the ribeye. It's got a lot of fat in it. Now, we didn't throw those away. We're going to put those on the grill. We're going to eat them. That's for sure. That's for the cook. That's the cook share. So we're just trying to trim off any extra fat or anything like that, any silver skin that might be on the outside of them, and just try to make them look halfway decent. Anything that doesn't look like you want to put it in your mouth, we're getting rid of. So we're going to do the same thing for the other one. I'm just going to stop talking and let you guys just watch the trimming process, and I'll be back with you in just a second. So the seasoning I used on these ribeyes is just a simple salt, pepper, garlic mix. I made my own. I didn't buy anything from the store. I used a tablespoon of salt, kosher salt. I used a teaspoon of black pepper and a teaspoon of granulated garlic, and then just mixed it together the best I could. I'm seasoning them pretty heavy. These are a pretty good sized piece of meat. They're, an inch and a half thick. So don't be afraid to lay some pretty good seasoning on these steaks. They can certainly take it, and they weren't certainly not too salty, not too peppery, or too garlicky. They were perfect. Now, not only are we seasoning both sides of these things, we're also going to make sure that we season the edge of these steaks. Man, you got to make the whole thing taste good. You might as well get some of the edges done. I just sprinkled a little bit of seasoning there on the board and just kind of rolled that steak in that seasoning and got the sides covered. After I was done with it, all I did was put it in that aluminum pan back there on the kitchen counter, covered it with some aluminum foil, and let it sit there for about 30 minutes, coming up to sort of room temperature or ambient temperature. Here's what they look like seasoned. Oh man, I can't wait to get these on the grill. So we should probably do that next. Now, as you can see, this grill is screaming hot. 550 degrees, somewhere in that neighborhood, across the entire surface of those grill grates. Man, it's time to get these steaks on here. So you can see that I laid them in at about a 45-degree angle across those grates. And then after I put them on, I gave them a little press, just to press them into those grill grates. I want that kind of like restaurant quality sear going on there. There's those little pieces. Man, those are for me. I can't wait to eat them. And then from here, literally, we just put the lid back on this, and I set a timer and waited exactly 2 minutes. As soon as my timer went off, I took the lid off, and now all we're going to do is turn them. We're not flipping them yet. We're just going to turn them 45 degrees in the other direction to make those kind of like diamond grill marks on these steaks. That's what the grill grates do. Not only do they cook an amazing steak, but man, the fact that you can get those sort of like restaurant quality or restaurant looking grill marks right at home is amazing. I just used the edge of the grill tool just to sort of press down those steaks. Not too bad, but I didn't want to touch them. They're hot. And I just flipped some other stuff, put the thing back on, the lid back on. We waited 2 more minutes, and after 2 more minutes, we're now at the 4-minute mark. It's now time to flip these guys. So I flipped them back in the original direction that they were facing, because we want to sort of make the grill marks on both sides match. I took a little bit of time getting used to this grill tool. Part of it was because I had my camera sitting right there in front of the grill, so I didn't want to knock it off the table on that performer. So we flipped them over, and before we put the lid on, we got the timer running at this point. So before we put the lid on, I just made a little bit of some, like a drizzle. It's melted butter, some of that salt, pepper, garlic mixture that I use to season the steaks with, and a little bit of my homemade barbecue rub just to give them a little bit of additional flavor. Just kind of used a spoon to drizzle that on top of those steaks. Now, I didn't want to brush it. I didn't want to like remove any of that seasoning or anything like that. I just brushed it on there. Had a little bit of a flare up. It's hot. The grill's like smoking hot, as you can clearly see there. So after we got that done, the lid went on. So after that 2-minute wait, now it's time to twist these steaks again, just like we did the first time. So we're now at about 6 minutes and change into the cook. So we're just turning these guys 45 degrees the other direction just to make those good looking grill marks. And now we're gonna put the lid on and we're gonna let them roll for another 2 minutes. So at this point, we're at 8 minutes into the cook after this 2-minute timer, and now we're gonna start taking temperature. You don't want to cook these things to feel or anything like that. Get yourself a Thermopen. I have a Thermopop that I'm using today, and we're just checking them. They're still a little cool, especially this one in the front. I think we're at like I want to say 115, 117, something like that. The one in the back's a little bit higher, so I knew it was like 125, something like that in the back, somewhere in that neighborhood. Depends on if I got in that fat. There's a piece of fat right in the middle that kind of messed with my temperature. So I knew they had to go a little bit longer. I'm looking for about 130, 128, something like that internal temperature. So we put that grill on and waited 2 more minutes of them just sitting there, not messing with them. Just let them go. Let them go. After that 2 minutes, we're temping them again, and the one in the front is probably 125, and I was like, you know, I like them rare. That's good enough for me. The one in the back is closer to 140. You can see it's like 142 there on the thermometer. Perfect. Perfect. So let's grab my aluminum pan, a clean one, not the same one I brought them out to the grill on, and use my grill tool after I figured out how to use it. Had a little bit of an issue there, but man, we got it worked out. And just pulled them off that grill and put them in that aluminum pan, and we're just going to cover them with aluminum foil and let them go. Let them go for 20 minutes. Don't open the foil, just let them sit there on the counter and let them rest. You got to make sure you let these things rest because of the amount of heat you're dealing with. After 20 minutes, this is what they look like. Oh man. You know, it's one of those things where you hope they taste as good as they look, and for sure they did. Oh, it's amazing. I cut that big one, the thicker one, in half, and the inside of that thing was 100% perfect. A straight rare. The smaller of the two, the one on the right there in that picture, ended up being about medium. But you can see it's rare, but man, I love it that way. So good. Man, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it so much. I guess we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.